There are many ways to improve in your career. You can educate yourself to gain more specific knowledge on a topic to make yourself a more valuable employee. You can also try to work harder and put in the extra hours to impress your boss. Or if you're a freelancer, you could try a variety of different things as well. In today's video, it's not about any of those surface level things that might help you improve. It's about the one principle we found that will change the way you work as a developer or in any profession in general forever. The principle we're talking about can best be described by the following two words: underpromise and overdeliver. This concept has a lot more to it than what you might think, and we're going to get into the detailed analysis now. The first word is underpromise. To underpromise doesn't mean to decrease the amount of work you will be doing. It's quite the opposite in complement with the second word. It means to set moderate expectation that fits your clients' or boss's needs. The second word is overdeliver. To overdeliver means to do everything you possibly can in a reasonable amount of time to get the task done and even more on top. It means to always clean the whole apartment when you're asked to just clean the kitchen. It means to get out of your comfort zone and break with the traditional way of solving problems or delivering work in some sense. It means to do everything you do with full focus and energy. This all might sound pretty confusing right now, so let us give you some examples. Imagine you're working as a software developer at a company. You desperately want a raise and you tried everything you can so far. You're reading articles, solving coding challenges at home, and you're working late hours every single day, but somehow you still don't get recognized and appreciated as much as you should. You decide to try the principle of underpromise and overdeliver. In your next team meeting, your boss asks you to implement a new feature. He gives you a deadline of 4 weeks to complete the job. Based on your experience, you know that this feature really isn't that big of a deal and you are certain that you can get it done in under 2 weeks. Using the concept of underpromise, you tell your boss that you're not sure if it can be done in only 4 weeks because there is a lot of stuff going on at the moment and your team is just in the middle of another big project. Your boss understands this and gives you a longer deadline of 6 weeks, which for him is still better than his original calculation of 3 months. After the meeting, you immediately get back to work and start to apply the principle of overdeliver. You spend the first week and a half implementing the requested feature, using best coding practices and doing the best you can to write clean and reusable code. The next few days you spend writing a detailed documentation of the code you added to the repository and even include some tips on how to deal with possible bugs or inconsistencies. Furthermore, you take time to build an easy to understand and visually attractive presentation in which you showcase your work and all the important information regarding this new feature. In the next meeting with your boss, you hold the presentation and show that the work is finished in just a third of the given time, and not just that, you also did far more than what you were supposed to do. Your boss is very impressed and you can clearly see that you left a remarkable impression on him. As you apply the concepts of underpromise and overdeliver more and more, you get the desired raise in just a few months. You're happy about the raise and your boss is happy about the great work you do for him and the company. It's a pleasant win-win situation. In which situations have you applied the underpromise or overdeliver principle? In which situations do you wish to have used the principles? Let us know and talk about it in the comment section. Also make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it so far and subscribe to our channel for more weekly content. Of course, the story is completely hypothetical and it's unlikely that everything would work out as perfectly as described, but it illustrates the effect of the correct applications of underpromise and overdeliver pretty good. It's also important to understand that to underpromise doesn't mean to lowball every negotiation or to sell yourself under worth. It should be a concept to keep in mind when dealing with those situations. If someone asks you to do a task in a certain amount of time and you know that you can do it faster, do not immediately shout it out to your boss or a client. By doing so, you would put more pressure on yourself and possibly your whole team or department. What's even worse is that there still is the possibility that you might not be able to get the work done in the amount of time you estimated. In the example of our story, it were the 2 weeks you had in the back of your mind. Even if you delivered the work on time of the original specification, in our story the 4 weeks, your boss will be mad and disappointed because he now only has the 2 weeks in his mind. In addition to that, you should always shoot for overdeliver. Even if you can't use the underpromise principle effectively in some situation, you should always try to overdeliver. A good example might be cleaning. Imagine you're living in an apartment with your spouse. You always argue about things like doing the dishes or cleaning the kitchen, and today it's your turn on cleaning. Instead of just doing the minimum amount of work, you decide to overdeliver and clean the entire apartment and maybe even cook a nice dinner in the evening. When your significant other then comes home, they are impressed and all of the trouble and angry discussions are forgotten. Another great example might be the work as a freelance web designer. Imagine having a client you're building a website for. You decided to use the content management system WordPress because the client wants to create a blog. Instead of just building the website and then handing the client the password to the admin account, you create a new account with limited permissions so the client won't change some crucial settings by accident. You also customize the whole user experience for your client by installing various plugins to display the company logo at the login screen or remove some unnecessary options in the WordPress admin area. Furthermore, you record a short video showing the client step by step on how to create new blog posts and how to answer comments. You don't get paid anything extra for all this work, but it will definitely pay off in the long run when you leave your client deeply satisfied. He is very likely to recommend you to his fellow business partners or friends and probably also leaves a 5-star review on any site you ask him to. As you can see, the concept of underpromise and overdeliver can be a real game changer. Even if you don't like to use underpromising, you should and can use the overdeliver principle every single time. Applying this principle honestly and sincerely is deeply connected to the base values and ethics of a person and will leave its marks even outside of work or business. We hope you enjoyed today's video and learned something new and interesting. If you did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more weekly content. Also make sure to comment down below if you have any questions or critique whatsoever. We'd love to see you again next week, and until then, stay healthy and keep on learning.